but Gravity Falls is one of the greatest cartoon pieces of fiction of all time. Regular Show versus SpongeBob. This right here could have been the finals. What's going on, YouTube? It's Rigel and I am back with another video. Today we have the best childhood cartoons. This is going to be part 3 of the Liwo Fufu series, and I feel like this one is going to be good. I grew up watching a whole lot of cartoons, so my opinion on this is valid as long as it doesn't have like a bunch of old school cartoons. I was born in 02, so if it's the classics for my year, then I'm good. But if it's a bunch of shows from the 90s, oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if those are on here, they ain't making the cut. I can tell you that right now. They're not making the cut. So with that being said, man, let's jump right into it. All right, this might be a little bit of a long one, but I'm gonna try and keep the yappage to a minimum. First up, we got Jimmy Neutron versus the Proud Family. Now, like I just said, if it's something that's before I was born, it ain't gonna make the cut. I did not watch the Proud Family. This is an easy decision for me. Spider-Man, the animated series versus the Amazing World of Gumball. This one is tough. Not a tough decision, but it's tough for me to do this because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. I don't even think I watched this version of Spider-Man, so it's easily going to Gumball. Teen Titans Go or Totally Spies. If I ever saw Totally Spies on, I wasn't actually watching it. I don't even think I put it in the background for background noise. Teen Titans Go though, as much as people hate it, Teen Titans Go wasn't all that bad. The Powerpuff Girls versus Steven Universe. See, this is the OG Steven Universe. I actually did watch the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was so funny, just watching these 3 little girls go around and just beat on villains. But if I saw both of these shows on at the same time, I'm picking Steven Universe every single time. Pokemon Journeys versus Total Drama Island. If I'm being honest, I think Total Drama Island has potential to win this whole tournament. Is that crazy to say? I don't really know what else is on here, but is that crazy to say? Like, I had watched Total Drama Island all the way through, and even when they would like restart the series from episode 1, I would still sit there and pull it up and watch it all over again. So this one has gotta go to Total Drama. Back at the Barnyard or Pokemon. I actually, I watched Pokemon, but I didn't watch too much of Pokemon. But Back at the Barnyard, I used to actually sit there and watch this show with some talking animals on it doing the most ridiculous things ever. I gotta go Back at the Barnyard. Flapjack or Danny Phantom? This isn't a hard decision at all. Flapjack terrified me. Like, this show was scary. I don't know what they were going for with this show, but this show was genuinely terrifying. Give me Danny Phantom, bro. Ben 10 Omniverse versus Fairly Odd Parents. Looking at this looks like a newer iteration of Ben 10, but if I'm being completely honest, regardless, I didn't watch much of Ben 10 anyway. I loved Ben 10. There was a game on PlayStation 2 that I used to play with my brother, and it was amazing. It was a Ben 10 game. It was amazing. But as far as the show, I've never truly watched Ben 10, and Fairly Odd Parents is just a classic, so I feel like this one should be a no-brainer anyway. Give me Fairly Odd Parents. Loud House versus Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Loud House is hilarious. Like, Loud House was one of the newer age cartoons that I didn't think I was gonna get into, but it was like the only thing on Nickelodeon at the time, so I decided to stop and watch it, and when I did, I actually did enjoy the show. I think this was one of the last shows that I was watching before I just stopped watching cartoons altogether. So I gotta go Loud House on this one. Witch versus Regular Show. Now, I don't even know what Witch is. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what that show is. And so far, out of all the shows that we've seen, Regular Show is probably the one that I have watched the most. Like, this show was so stupid. 1 minute we're setting up chairs, and the next minute we're fighting some intergalactical demon. Like, how does that even who thought of this? I gotta go Regular Show. SpongeBob versus Robot and Monster. Come on, man. Come on. I don't even know what Robot and Monster is, and it wouldn't have mattered. My Little Pony versus Uncle Grandpa. I think the only time I have ever watched My Little Pony was because my grandma had it on for my baby cousins when they were really young, and they're both girls. I have actually watched Uncle Grandpa. And that show is so stupid. Like, I actually think I was losing brain cells while watching Uncle Grandpa. I honestly cannot stand that show. Like, Uncle Grandpa was brain rot before we had brain rot. Like, he always just walked around and, good morning. Like, that was so stupid. And then Pizza Steve, oh my God. This show was so dumb. This show was so dumb. Out of utter spite, I am going to give this to My Little Pony. Oh my God. This was way too soon. Codename Kids Next Door versus Gravity Falls. Codename Kids Next Door was such a great show. Like, watching this growing up made me want a treehouse. I don't know how I was gonna get it or who was gonna build it, but I wanted a treehouse because of this show. I wanted some of the gadgets that they had in this show. I think I was actually making like just random acronyms for things just to do it. But Gravity Falls is one of the greatest cartoon pieces of fiction of all time. So it just completely clears Codename Kids Next Door. And that actually makes me sad that Kids Next Door got eliminated this early. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes versus Avatar The Last Airbender. Okay, see, now we're getting deep in. Regular show is gaining some comp. Avatar The Last Airbender was so good. Watching Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, and Zuko just like grow together on their journey and accomplish what they accomplished, that was just peak fiction. This is easily going to Avatar. Lilo and Stitch versus Legend of Korra. This says Lilo and Stitch the series. I don't think I watched the series. Now, the movie I did watch, and the movie was fantastic, but I don't think I really watched this series. And then it's up against Legend of Korra. As much as people like to hate on Korra for the things that she did and the mistakes that she made, I still enjoyed Legend of Korra. It was a very good show. So I'm gonna have to give this one to Korra, even though she erased the entire Avatar bloodline. As a show, she takes it. Pokemon Black and White versus Phineas and Ferb. I hate that they keep putting so many Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh iterations in here because I just can't pick them because I didn't even watch them. Plus, like, come on, it's Phineas and Ferb. It's Phineas and Ferb. Batman the Brave and Bold versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2012 edition. This version of TMNT was one of the best to ever exist. Watching these turtles develop and grow as this story went on was just so good to watch. Watching them like fight to take down the Krang and then Shredder to Master Splinter dying and then them being like isolated out in the woods somewhere. Like, this show was so good. I also have never even heard of this Batman show, so this is an easy pick. Jimmy Neutron versus The Amazing World of Gumball. My dog, Jimmy Neutron, got her. Like, I didn't see the way I talk about water. Jimmy Neutron was a good show, but I'm not gonna lie, Jimmy Neutron peaked at the Jimmy Neutron Fairly Odd Parents crossover. I'm not gonna lie. Amazing World of Gumball, on the other hand, is consistently just a good show by itself. So I gotta give this one to Amazing World of Gumball. Teen Titans Go versus Beyblade Metal Series. This one is gonna hurt my heart. I watched Beyblade, but I didn't watch a lot of Beyblade. The reason it is where it is right now is because I was more of buying and playing with Beyblades at school with my classmates, and that just holds a special place in my heart. But as far as the show itself, I don't remember too much about the show. Like, I can't even remember any lore from Beyblade. The only thing that I can remember is like El Drago, and that's about it. And that was only because I thought El Drago was cool. But Teen Titans Go, like, if I saw both of these shows on, I'm picking Teen Titans Go every time. Total Drama versus Back at the Barnyard. As much as I loved Back at the Barnyard, Total Drama takes this with ease. And like, literally just looking at these cover arts, like, I could name every single Total Drama character over there, but I can only name like Otis, and I think the ferret's name is Pip, and maybe the pig is actually just called Pig. I don't know. I don't remember any other characters from this show. You know what? I actually am gonna name all the Total Drama characters from left to right. Let's go. Lindsay, Izzy, DJ, Lashana, Bridget, Eva, Courtney, Duncan, Justin, Tyler, Owen, Noah, Katie and Sadie, Harold, Trent, Jeff, Gwen, Ezekiel, Heather, Cody, and Beth. I think that deserves a round of applause. Now, if you ask me about any of those characters that they started adding later on in the series, I have no idea who you're talking about. I might know a few of them, but that's about it. So give me Total Drama Island. Danny Phantom versus the OG Teen Titans. Both of these cartoons were fantastic. They both had cool storylines and even sometimes left you on the edge of your seat wondering what was gonna happen next. And as cool as Danny Phantom is, if both of these shows were airing at the exact same time and I can only pick one, I am picking Teen Titans every single time. Fairly Odd Parents versus The Loud House. The Loud House has such a cool concept. It was such a funny show. The characters in it were great. One of the characters, I think it was like Lincoln's friend, ended up getting a spinoff. It was like the Latina girl and she got a spinoff of her own version of The Loud House. That's how good the characters in this show were. But Fairly Odd Parents for me was just so much more entertaining. Like the lore in Fairly Odd Parents is great, the characters are great, and the show actually kept me invested. Like I was legitimately watching this show, especially all the specials that they had. The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, the Channel Surfers, when Poof was born. Like Fairly Odd Parents takes this one. Ben 10 versus Regular Show. Now, if you're a Ben 10 fan, I'm gonna have to apologize. Ben 10 is not making it past this round. If both of these shows were on at the same time, I am picking Regular Show a million times over. I was so invested in Regular Show, like I was actually sitting here wondering what multiversal tier deity are they about to face next while doing the most simple of tasks. I gotta go Regular Show here. Dexter's Laboratory versus Gravity Falls. This one's easy. Like I said, Gravity Falls is just so good. The lore in Gravity Falls had me hooked. I was waiting every single week for a new episode to drop on Disney XD. The Amazing World of Gumball versus Ed, Edd and Eddy. If I'm being honest, I don't think Ed, Edd and Eddy should have made it this far. They had some easy matchups and they got lucky. Regardless, this is where they stop. I didn't really care for this show. I didn't. Like out of all the characters, I can only name Ed, Edd and Eddy and the Canker twin sisters. Oh, and Plank. I think Plank was my favorite character. A board of wood was my favorite character from this show. I'm giving this one to Gumball. Teen Titans Go versus Steven Universe. Ooh, I like this matchup. A funny, just like chill show versus a show that has actual like lore to it. And it's still kind of funny. If both of these shows were actively airing a new episode at the exact same time and I could only pick one, I think I would go with Steven Universe just because Steven Universe did leave me wondering what would happen next. And Teen Titans Go, you know, I would just go over there to get a laugh. So I gotta go Steven on this one. Teen Titans versus Billy and Mandy. See, Billy and Mandy is another show that shouldn't even be here. I barely watched it, and Teen Titans is just better anyway. So there is still a Teen Titans that is in here. So that's good. Regular Show versus SpongeBob. This right here could have been the finals. I am pretty sure that literally anybody and their goldfish has watched SpongeBob at some point in time. SpongeBob is one of those shows that is always in the GOAT conversation. SpongeBob just has that longevity going for it. Like it is, to this day, it is still airing episodes. And I believe at some point in watching SpongeBob, I would just put it on and have it there for background noise. I don't think I have ever done that with Regular Show. No matter how many times I have seen the episodes, I will sit there and watch the entire episode of Regular Show. So for that reason, I am going to have to give this one to Regular Show. The final 8 is starting off very strong. Gravity Falls versus Avatar: The Last Airbender. I genuinely don't know which show to pick here. Both of these shows are extremely lore-filled, and I love me some good lore in a show. Gravity Falls, in my opinion, is the best cartoon that Disney has ever dropped. After a good amount of thought, I'm gonna have to give this one to Avatar. Characters are better. The story is just as lore driven as Gravity Falls is, if not more. And Avatar had just a little bit more of an emotional aspect going for it, which just brought me that much closer to the characters that they were building. So I'm gonna give this one to Avatar. The Amazing World of Gumball versus Steven Universe. I could honestly sit and binge watch both of these shows to completion multiple times in a row. Both of these shows were absolutely fantastic, and they aired around the same time. Steven Universe used to give me the lore that I was looking for, while Gumball used to give me a good laugh and still keep me invested. If I'm being honest, am I allowed to be honest? Of course I am. If I saw both of these shows airing at the exact same time, I want to say maybe 7 or 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna pick Gumball over Steven Universe. So I got to go with Gumball here. Total Drama versus Teen Titans. Wow. OG Teen Titans was such a great show. Like, looking back, Teen Titans is one of those shows that you would think, like, is this really a kid's show? Like, you have really deep episodes where, like, Slade was terrorizing Robin, or Cyborg almost leaving the Teen Titans, or like when Raven had to go confront her dad. But if I'm being honest, I have watched a lot of the Teen Titans series, but I don't think I ever actually finished the series. What I have finished is Total Drama Island multiple times. Total Drama Action, Total Drama World Tour. So I'm gonna have to give this one to Total Drama. You know, I knew this one was coming. I expected this. Avatar: The Last Airbender versus The Legend of Korra. Now, there was a few years back where I sat down and I binged watched all of Avatar, and then right after binged all of Legend of Korra. At the time, I had watched Avatar before, but I had never watched Korra. But even with that being the case, in terms of enjoyment, I think I'm gonna have to go to Avatar. Personally, I think Legend of Korra's storyline was fantastic. Her journey was completely different than Aang's. Like, she started off as a prodigy and knew all the elements as like a toddler. I think the only one that she actually had to learn was airbending. But as great as her story was, getting to watch Aang go from the ground up with every single element except air was just, it was beautiful. The characters were better, the story was better, and I genuinely did enjoy watching The Last Airbender more than The Legend of Korra. So if you're giving me the option between one of the greatest avatars of all time or the avatar that erased the entire Avatar bloodline, I'm gonna have to go with Aang. Total Drama Island versus regular show. As much as I love Total Drama Island, as many times as I have watched Total Drama Island, it does not compare to regular show for me. I don't even think it's that close. I'd say probably like 8 or 9 times out of 10, I'm picking regular show over Total Drama. Amazing World of Gumball versus regular show. Now this is semifinals to finals worthy right here. 2 of Cartoon Network's best shows that are arguably both on the Mount Rushmore of Cartoon Network shows. This is such a good matchup because as a kid, I actually was bouncing between watching these 2 shows. Like, if one of these was on Cartoon Network East and one of them was on Cartoon Network West, I was genuinely going back and forth between both so I could watch both shows. But if I had to pick which one of these shows I would erase from existence and never have heard of it ever, I would erase Gumball and pick regular show to keep. Avatar: The Last Airbender versus regular show. Nickelodeon versus Cartoon Network. Now this is a matchup right here. Avatar has had some of the greatest scenes in cartoon history. The animation alone clears a lot of the shows that were on this list. Avatar definitely could take the win here, but I don't think it will. I wholeheartedly believe that regular show definitely brought me more entertainment than Avatar did. While at first seeming like a show that had zero purpose, towards the middle and the end of the show, the lore actually did start connecting and the show made a little bit of sense. And on top of that, still being one of the funniest shows that I have ever watched. So with that being said, I want to give a big RIP to Pops and say that Regular Show is the greatest cartoon of all time. All right, let's see some of the rankings and who put what where. Avatar: The Last Airbender, number 1. SpongeBob, Gravity Falls, Amazing World of Gumball, and Regular Show. All of these are definitely top 5 worthy. All right, but that's gonna be it for me, man. Let me know down in the comments whether you agree or if you disagree. And if you have any suggestions on topics that I should do, drop it down in the comments or join the Discord. The link is going to be in the bio, and put your topic in the Liwu Fufu category. And I will get around to doing it if I have enough knowledge on the topic. And if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say that I appreciate you. Drop a like if you liked the video. Hit that subscribe button to become a star that shines during the day and the night, because we are just that bright. And remember, chase your dreams one step at a time, and always, always, always reach for the stars. I'm out of here.